This tutorial is going to talk about the selection tool select color range to pick specific color pixels inside of your perspectives and adjust those accordingly. In this example, we're going to take the purple that is in these trees and we're going to change all those colors to a green color to sort of match up some of these other trees as if it were a different time of year. Now to do that and to do any selection, you might be used to using a traditional selection tool. Maybe it's the rectangular marquee or a lasso tool or even the wand, but all of those are going to be pretty difficult for selecting the intricacies of this tree. I mean, maybe magic wand is the best, but we're going to use select color range. It's going to be way better, easier, more precise for selecting these purple pixels right here. Now the way this works is we're going to say select and color range. It allows us to take our eyedropper and sort of pick a color. We'll pick this green up in here to start. What you'll notice is that once you pick that color, you can adjust the fuzziness. What this means is the lower the fuzziness, the more strict it's going to be about selecting only that green pixel. The more you bump it up, you'll notice that it'll be more generous in what it's selecting, even going as far as to select partial pixels that have a green tint to them. For our purposes though, we want to zoom in and select these purple pixels inside of this tree, and so I'm just going to click one of these to start. And you can see I can adjust the fuzziness to try to get closer to all of these trees, but what I'm going to do is actually click the eyedropper with a plus. This means that I can select multiple color pixels. So I'm just going to sample a few of these bright ones that are in here, making sure not to pick anything outside of that. And we'll adjust the fuzziness accordingly. You'll see that I'm missing some of the darker colors up here, so I'm actually going to come up top and grab a few more of these. And I think it's getting close to the right selection. I still might dial it back. What you're going to notice is it's never going to pick up exactly just the stuff that you want. I've also got some of the pinks and purples of these flowers, some trees that are in a different part of the site, but that's okay. We'll fix that again later. I'm going to say okay at this point. What you'll notice is that it's put that marquee around all of those colors in there, and of course picked up some what we'll call debris along the way in this. Now the next step for me is I've got this layer right here where I've adjusted the hue and saturation, some filters for this view right here. What I'm also going to do though is now add an adjustment layer on top. So we'll click on this icon down at the bottom. These are all our adjustment layers. We're going to go to hue and saturation. Now, all it does is it deselects, but really if you look up at this hue and saturation layer right here, we've got a layer mask where it has translated that selection to where all of the areas, the pixels that were selected are now white or a shade of gray, and everything that wasn't selected is black. And that allows us to just adjust the hue and saturation for those specific pixels that we had highlighted. And so you'll notice when we change the hue, start to notice how the tree colors are actually changing. And as we move it across this hue spectrum, what we'll find is that we can adjust the tree color closer to a green. So you can see there's a lot of different colors that you'll be able to adjust it to. Like I said, I want to choose a green color right here. You might even change the saturation, bump it up, bump it down, the lightness up and down as well, just to get those colors right. Now I'll hit the eyeball next to it and you can see I can toggle those colors on and off. But as I mentioned up front, I want to only affect these trees right here, and what I've done in the process is affected these trees back here, stolen some of the color from these flowers. So what we're going to do is hold down Option on my Mac and click on just this layer mask right here. We can see our selection. If you're on a PC, you'll hold down Alt and then click on this layer mask, and what it does is it just shows that mask. And I can more strategically get in here and turn back and control what it is selecting. So what I'm going to do is get my brush. We'll do B for brush. I'm going to change it to a hard round brush in this case, and I'm going to hit D for my default colors and change, flip the colors to where black is in front. In essence, I just want black in a hard round brush so that I can come in and start to paint black over all of this. And what it's doing right now on that layer mask is it's taking away the effect of the hue and saturation. So in this case, I'm coming in and changing these pixels back to how they were originally viewed. I can get more strategic in here just by zooming in, kind of clicking and dragging that circle. Now, I might get a better brush and zoom in to really fine tune this right here, but I think this is going to work just for demonstration purposes. You can see that in doing that, these trees are back to normal, the flowers are back to the brightness that they were, and I can just sort of toggle this on and off as a way to select these pixels and adjust them specifically to get the output that I want. And this works for trees. It can also work for other things like water and fountains, for the colors of buildings and different hardscape materials as well. So use this process to make changes to your perspectives in a quick way, in an easy way, and certainly in a way that you can continue to adjust just by opening back up this layer and continuing to refine those colors specific to one part of your site.